Good night, good night. Don't look like anybody interested in the life tonight. Don't look like anybody interested in life tonight. God have mercy. Good night. Good evening, my darling Anika. How are you today? You and your cricket metaphors. If I'm going to bowl any spins or just a dance. Which one you think would keep the enemy on their toes, Anika? I think the spins always keep them on them toes. Share the live, bring on some more people. Can somebody tag as many people as you know in Southeast St. Anne, please? Tonight's live is primarily about Southeast St. Anne. Good night, Kirk. How are you, my comrade brother? Tag somebody you know in Southeast St. Anne, but tag the PNP delegates. Tag the PNP people because these lives are for them, So please tag somebody you know, tag a delegate, tag a friend, just tag someone. Particularly someone in good night, Paula. Good night. Tag spins already catch the wave like Anika. I don't think these people understand PNP politics. We have to continue to teach them. You're good, Kurt. Yeah, we all are. Once we're alive, we're good. I don't know where Andrea is. Good night, Yvonne. I'm reading about the birth of a crab. This is a Bahamian creative writing today. It's The Shallow Seas, From the Shallow Seas. A book called From the Shallow Seas. But it's poetry. So tag somebody. Tag the delegates from Southeast St. Anne. Bring them on. Let them know we're on. And we're going to be talking about them mostly. But we want the PNP delegates to come on as well. The PNP members, the PNP people. Tell them to come hear what we have to say. I mean, when we come out, we talk the truth. I believe this is the only place them getting full truth. So they must come on, come get it, man. Why is this thing behaving like that? Yeah, here we go. You're bringing them on. Bringing them on, bring them on. Good night, everyone. Good night, good night, good night. I am great. I am great, and I don't think Mark going anywhere, Yvonne. I don't think Mark going anywhere. I think Mark needs not a push. Mark needs a total knockdown, knockout. Mark should be one of them guy in our movie with us. Give him something for drink and then wrap him up in a soap and carry him home. I don't remember nothing after I wake up. Good night, comrades. Good night, good night, good night. Good night, good night. We're gonna start now. Good night, everyone. It has been hectic and somewhat comedic past 2 weeks in politics, certainly in PNP politics. Philip Chores, Mark is going to be the next one. PM? All right, my brother. So, like, you don't wake up yet. Keep dreaming. Nobody that will wake you up. Nobody that will wake you up, Philip. Not a soul that will wake you up. I threatened to ban you, for block you from my Facebook page, and the resistance people themselves mustn't block you. So I don't block you. But Mark is going to be the next PM. Good luck. Good night, Anthony. So, comrades, we're going to talk about a couple of things tonight. And in about 15 minutes, I'm going to bring on Comrade Michelle Stern for her to come and talk about the polls. Because we have spent hours, 2, 3 in the morning. We have been poring over these polls, poring over the questions, poring over the answers, poring over the calculations, poring over the voter apathy, poring over where our seats are located in comparison to all of that. We have been poring over things regarding this poll. Good night, Comrade Jeannie. And we know that Mark and Dayton and them crew is on a high now. Mark know what being on a high is because he's always on a high. So we know that them on a high and them riding this little wave that them think that is thing. But them in for a rude awakening because they have failed to fool the Jamaican people or to fool the PNP comrades in believing that this poll thing that they commissioned is a good thing. The results are a good thing. They have failed to convince people that that is so. And so them can stay on them high. Nobody will trouble them. Nobody deserves alcohol high now and then. So nobody should trouble them on that high. Let them stay up there. Let them stay and float around in space, thinking that there's a good thing for them. So we're going to talk about the polls. Michelle is going to come on and do our thing about going to the thing. We're going to talk about Mutabaruka, his whole psychoanalysis of Mark Golding. And I mean, never know said the man Crawford teach you maths. Boy, I'm telling you, them don't know that the maths teacher taught us maths, how to add. Them know say that 2 and 2 is not only 2 and 2 is 4, but 3 and 1 are 4 too. Them know that. Them know that at all. But we're going to talk about how Mutabaruka psychoanalyzes Mark Jefferson. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about polls. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk a little bit about the constituency assessment. We're going to talk a little bit about Northeast St. Elizabeth. And at the end of all of this, I'm going to have a little message for Raymond Price. But most importantly, we are going to talk about Southeast St. Anne. Most importantly, we are going to talk about the one question we have been asking and Jamaica have been asking: should Lisa Hanna reconsider not leaving politics, as she announced last August that she was going to do? So that is our focus tonight, but we're going to talk about all the other little things then and talk about it. So let me start off by first saying that I want to express our deepest condolences to you, Anika, for the loss of your niece. And we witness on social media what you went through. And my heart aches for you day and night every time I see you post something. I am glad that you're in a better place now. And niece is in a better place as well. And you did your duty as an aunt. And God bless you, my daughter. God bless you, my baby. God bless you. I also want to take this opportunity to express on behalf of the resistance our deepest condolences to the people of Southeast St. Mary, particularly the Hanna division, who just lost last week, comrade Teresa Pink, Sister Terry. Now, Sister Terry is my mother when I'm in St. Mary. I can't even begin to tell you one of these days. If we have some time, we can talk about the crap we pulled back in the day when we were younger in the wild. Sister Terry's daughter, Arlene Jackson, worked at PNP headquarters, migrated. We have been friends for almost 40 years. And so, tomorrow night, Wednesday night, is the candlelight ceremony for Teresa Pink, Comrade Teresa Pink, Sister Terry. So all of those of you from Kingston and anywhere else that knew Teresa Pink, Sister Terry, come on over to Hanna Bay. Little mother vibes for Sister Terry. I remember her fondly. She always said she going to deadlift Harry Douglas. She loved her party. She loved PNP. She loved Mama P. Lord of mercy. I don't think she loved Dr. Phillips. I think she loved him. Not love him. I mean, she love him. Love Dr. Phillips. And of course, the great love of her life was Harry Douglas. So, I hope the comrades, the resistance people over in Hanna Bay, want to keep Sister Terry flag flying. We're coming out like border vibes, we don't know, and kind of mash down the place as Sister Terry would agree for us to do it. So we do that. So comrades, last week, the week before last Sunday, not last week Sunday, the week before last Sunday, the first poll came out. And for some strange reason, the People's National Party, who commissioned that poll, thought that the first thing they should show the Jamaican people, the first information they should give the PNP comrades, is the information about the standing of the PNP leader that you, the delegates, the licky delegates, elected. The PNP leader who's a fraud, who became leader of the PNP through fraudulent means. And they thought that the first information they should release to the Jamaican public was his standing in the polls. And my, how the mighty are fallen. And every day I get up and watch Mark Golding and him crew is a reaffirmation for me that God is alive and Jesus is sitting at the right hand of God. Because them just can't escape the judgment of God. Them trying to escape all kinds of things, them can't escape God's judgment. So let us, before we bring on Michelle, let me just want to say one thing before Michelle come on. Michelle, line up yourself and do your thing so I can bring you on. Mark Golding, they did a poll last year. And the poll last year, Mark Golding had 18 points. Now, when the PNP people hear me out, And the reason why tonight is so important is because I spent a few hours in Tree yesterday. Why did I do that? I did that because I knew they were on a high. I did that because we were drilling down into the numbers on the poll and the questions and how those numbers rank up against what we find out there in the field. We were drilling it. And a comrade told me that on Friday or Thursday, Mr. Dan Anderson was walking through New Kingston and a comrade backed him up and said, what go on with the poll about what go on? And Dan Anderson said, well, you're going to get good news and bad news, depends on how you read it. So the comrade said, you're going to get good news and bad news, depends on how you read it. I should have me buck him up. But the comrade same buck him up and him said that to him. The comrade working on the street somewhere there. And the comrade said to him, Mr. Anderson, what go on with the poll thing, man? What go on? And him said, well, Sunday is going to be a bag, a mixed bag, something like that. You're going to get good news and bad news, depends on how you read it. But I want you PNP delegates who nobody tells the truth, except you don't get no truth anywhere else inside that party, except on this platform. There's no truth, you don't get anywhere else about anything that's going on in here. And I'm claiming that on behalf of the resistance. When we put out, we do some satire, and we do memes, and we make jokes, but when we give you information, it is accurate information. And the reason we know that is because you're not only listening, but you're checking on stuff now. You're actually checking on stuff now. This morning, so yesterday morning, I spent a few hours in Africa. This morning, I took a member of my community who not walking. Him foot them seas up on him, them dead, and them can't walk and him not have no body. I get up this morning at 5:30, but go down him yard for him, get Shelly in, put him in the car, because when the car on KPH, and then give him some something to go do some blood tests and something to do a x-ray. We don't have no money to do all of that. So we are look for the simplest and cheapest way to help him. So we carry him to KPH and look after him and give him the paper. So I carry him down to comprehensive clinic this morning. Carry Shelly in with me so she can stay with him and look for him doing blood tests. And when I park up near that little shed there so they can bring him a wheelchair to put him up, somebody walk up to the car and say, "You're not afraid the junglist them attack you." And I look up. I say, "Wow, I'm a comrade friend." So I'm there. "So you work here?" I said, "No, man, I'm just there. I'm come carry one man with him and something. And then him bend on him head and say, "Your enemy work, I do see I do, but there's a sit over there." So him now look over there and say, "See your enemy sit over there, man. Over to the right hand part, they shot the yellow car there. And your enemy that you know, mark people. Them the people hate you know." And I give it a couple of seconds before I helped Dave into the wheelchair and look up. And I saw who it was. And I said to him, "No man, she don't hate me. She don't hate me at all. She's very thankful for what we do. She's very thankful that we tell her the truth all the time. She don't hate me. And here I'm going to prove to you that she don't hate me." So I'm going to put up my fist. I don't make no sound because she was looking straight at me. But put up my fist and I hail to her. And she give me back a fist and I hail to me. And a little smile, a little crack of a smile. So that's how, those are some of the things, that's how we know that Mark not winning as him think he is. And him not settled as he think he is. So you can stay on him high now. The same Sunday, and I should tell you, comrades, that my life has not been the same since all of this. It's like going out on the street is like a risk every time you go on the street, in the supermarket, in the tax office, just on the street, at the gas station, everywhere. And Price Mart is like a breeding ground for that, for resistance. Yeah? The very Sunday, week before last Sunday, that those first polls came out. Price Mart closes at 6. So I'm going up a Price Mart to go get cakes for the ice cream shop. I live 4 minutes away from Price Mart. So I'm not going to Price Mart. I left out here at 5:48. I left out here. Reach up there. When I was driving up there, I know that my card expired. Because the card expired from February. And so therefore, I'm going to look somebody for run them cards so I can pay for the cakes. So I was running that in my head while I was driving. I went to the Price Mart, check up the cakes. I don't use trolley when I'm buying cakes because I cannot, if it's 2, I can pack them on the morning. If it's 1, if it's 3, I still can pack them on the morning. So I took up the cakes and I look for a line to join. I'm looking for a friendly face. A line, somebody who I can say to them, say, "See, I have a card, but it expires, so I asked him if I can, run a card for me." So I met this nice fella and I chat him up a little bit. But I never go right into chat him up. I went straight up to him and I said to him, "Good evening, sir." I said, "Good evening." I said, "My card expired and I wondered if you can run your card for me so I can get the cake." And he said to me, "You can renew it at the cashier." I said, "I know that, but I don't have the money to do it. I really don't have the money to do it. All the money I have is the money to buy the cake." And he said, "Okay." I said, "I know you." I said, "I'm sure you do." And we were just there chatting up a bit. In a few seconds, another cashier line opened up. And the gentleman behind him turned to me and said, "Is that they're opening that line?" And I looked at him and said, "Yes, you want to go join?" And him pushed the trolley down near to me and him said, "Is you a want join?" Hear me out, you know, comrade. He push him trying down to him and says, you all want to join. Him say that, you know, men stay when them are, men have a way of thinking that them fancy with words and them always can reach you with them words. Him says, you all want to join. And I smiled. And then him said, no, it's you I really want to join. And I got it. I said, oh, all right. And I laughed. And he obviously wanted a conversation with me. So I started a conversation with him. And by doing so, I said to the other gentleman, I thank you very much for your kindness, but I'm going to ask this gentleman, because it appears that he was a comrade and a fan. And the little fella said, yeah, man, cool. One entire conversation with that gentleman, who is a businessman that operates downtown, told me about his business. I know the business very well. Look like such a simple man. You'll never believe it. And we talk. He's a fan, knows what the resistance is doing, feels that we, in his estimation, the PNP need 10 more people like me. I don't agree with that. I don't think the world could handle one more me. So I think me will just do. And we talk and talk. He gave me his number. I told my phone is in the car because I don't carry a phone and me are going at the place there. And I would talk. So I dialed my number, I go in the car, I saw the number. Tell me his name. The name is very, very well known. He's a businessman. Pass it on to the resistance secretary. I thought I needed to make a phone call to him. So I called him the Monday. I said to him, hi, it's me. And he said, yeah, man, and stuff. There was a little conversation going on. And he started the conversation on the Monday morning by telling me about how the bus stop for people to go to Spanish Town, downtown, how crowded it is, how late at night people are struggling to get transportation to go home in the night. He invited me to come down there one evening just to witness it, to see how wicked and cruel it is. He proceeded to tell me that there are just 2 buses that go to Spanish Town at that hour in the evening, and how the people suffering just to get on those buses to go home, and how Theme Party that he has contributed so much to financially and in time and his efforts are play marble with the JLP. Theme Party that he has given so much to is now led by Bakra Masa. He never thought, he said his parents would have turned over in their grave if they were here to see the son of a slave owner, possibly the grandson of a slave owner, running the People's National Party and running it to the ground. It was a most profound argument. It was the conversation that I started with him. That's a conversation where him segue into talking about the people at the bus stop. I asked him if he look at the poll thing yet. Him say yes. Him look at the poll thing, and poll don't surprise him and all the rest of it. Anyway, that was the end of that. With that, in half 3 on Monday, I didn't go to hold a conversation with anybody. I had limited amount of time. So I said I'm going to go do an hour, 1.5. End up about 2 hours plus. So I go to several different sections where people gathering. And for the first time in my life, the very first time, I went into the bus terminus. I went inside. I've never been in there. And I went in there. Peak hour, I went in there. School over. Some people the late lunch, and some people going home from a shift or something like that. So you get to hear conversation. After 3 was an interesting level of conversation from the plaza over where Chang's is, and from the taxi stand to the guys them where hang out, and I don't know what them doing. I'm always some part care, but some look suspicious doing other things. Just listen, just provoke conversation and listening to it. Because all you have to do is drop 1 word or 2 words, or somebody says something, the guys them will lift up the thing for your park, for your pass, for your driving and stuff. And the conversation, the argument that they were talking about does not give me any comfort at all, and should not give Mark Golding any comfort either. And here is why. The leader of the People's National Party bought the People's National Party, bought you delegate, you sold Norman Manley Party to him. He has been there for 2 years and 4 months. 2 years and 4 months. The first year that he was there, every time him open his mouth or his henchmen who open their mouths, their arguments are, him knew, him just come, give him a chance for the people to get to know him. God in heaven knows how many tours he did in his first year as leader of the People's National Party. We don't know how many, we're still trying to figure out how many tours he did. I don't come up with a figure in my head yet. How many tours he did in the first year as leader of the People's National Party. He had a little flimsy thing of a conference because of COVID. Then things began to level off and seep out. And things began to, an environment was created to give him a second look. Call it a second look in our second year. So the environment was created for that second look. Having gone through the first year and having have to battle with COVID, and I will give him that. I will give him that. There was a battle of COVID, which was not an hindrance for people to move around and talk to people. If anything, the COVID matter was a matter that the COVID situation was a situation that could have been maximized to the benefit of the People's National Party if they were wise. Because the COVID allows you to have that small grouping discussions, which is what you should have had in that first year. Pinpoint some areas where you want to have some small discussions. And because of COVID, you go do that. Nobody could quarrel with you about a crowd. Because now you're just going to areas, go talk to people. And it provides that opportunity. That's what COVID would have done, provided that opportunity. So he had that first year, he squandered it. He couldn't connect in that first year, in spite of COVID and the fact that he could go into small groups and go into a small community, go visit some people and do some little house to house without any fanfare. He could have done that without any fanfare because of COVID. He missed that bus. So he never pick up nothing from that. Why I know him never pick up nothing from that? A matter of fact, he went down maybe 4 points because of that poll that they did in 2020 that they did not release. And I think PJ Patterson had something to do with that. But they did that poll in 2020 going into the presidential elections that showed Lisa Hanna at 43% and Mark Golding at 21%. Let me repeat that. Remember, the poll was leaked. The poll was leaked after 14. It was before. The 14 members of parliament were polled. 34 or 35% of them preferred Lisa Hanna over Mark Golding. There was Lisa Hanna in the race. There was Damien in the race at about 7 points. There was Paul Well. There was Julian. But the two top people was him and Lisa Hanna. 34% Lisa Hanna. About 16% was saying him. And that was the polling from the 14 members of parliament. When you throw in the delegates, Dan Anderson, because Dan Anderson did the poll, when Dan Anderson threw in the delegates into that 2020 poll, then Lisa Hanna was 43 and Mark Golding was 21. So I am starting from the 21. That's where I'm starting. I'm giving him all of 21. I am starting from 21. So 2020, he had 21. 21% of the PNP people and the delegates said that they would prefer him, and Lisa Hanna had 43. So I'm starting 21. 2022. The man went on 12 different tours. And I like them challenge me on it. 12 different, every media said them on tour. Actually, well, let 12 stay. 12 different tours he went on. Every meeting them on a tour. They instead of them a package him, them a market him, them a fix him up, them buy him new clothes, them buy him some new hat, him get a whole heap of new shoes. Him the straight shirt, them I don't know what they were thinking, but them buy up a straight shirt for him. Them I try dress him up like a Dan Gargan at one point, and then him look like a Riff Raff, and then him look like a wannabe Dan, and then him look like Charlie Chaplin, and him just was all over the place with the clothes thing. But them I try fix him up. The hat them, the Kangol, the backway hat them, the hat where Mark Golden, as if him need it as a point to remind him who him is. I don't know. But all of that, they repackage him for that second tour. And during that year, PNP people, during that year, that 2022, him tour like hell. Him just a tour, so. And looking stupid. Wasn't picking up no traction anywhere. Nobody wasn't following him. Nobody wasn't impressed by him. Nobody wanted to see him. But him still a tour. And I, for one, would agree that even though nobody don't want to see him, still tour. But then, he elevated the tour to a different level. Time came to have divisional conferences. And since COVID, and the PNP people never go out for them. I told you this before, and I want to remember that I told you this, The people came out for the divisional conferences. They did. They did because COVID did lock them down, and they really want to put on them orange clothes, and they really want to go in a schoolroom or one place and just have some niceness and some vibes, and just sing PNP song and dance. And there was a certain amount of people, percentage of people, who also wanted to see him, to know him, because they never know him. So those big conferences was partially that. Mostly people coming out because they never get to come out the year before and the year before. So it was mostly that. But there was also the fact that they want to see him. They want to know him. They want to look upon him. They want to hear him. Not many of them touch him. So he did that. What he did in elevating that conference was made it very clear to the most popular politician in the country, to the person that the PNP and the country wants, Lisa Hanna. He said to Lisa Hanna, do not go on any conference circuit. Don't address no conference. Don't go to no conference. The resistance went into a couple of constituencies and divisions. There were about 3 divisions in particular where the candidates said to us, we can't help we get Lisa to come talk at the conference. And my response was, all 3 of them was, ask her. Just ask her, man. 2 of them did a little, yeah. But they didn't tell me until afterwards when I asked, weeks afterwards, if they asked. Why did I ask them? Because the 3rd candidate told me that he asked. He said, I asked, Comrade Karen. And I said, what did she say? She said she can't come address him conference because the party leader said she should not do any conference because she's going to overshadow him. That is what the comrade said. She told him. So Mark told Lisa Hanna not to go to the divisional conferences because she's going to overshadow him. Remember we talk about it? The stupidity of Bakramasa? How him have the most popular politician to help him and him put her one side and bench her totally? He did that. So the entire conference circuit was his for the taking. He never have the competition. Damien was at a couple of constituency and divisional. Damien was at a lot of divisional conferences. Damien was at Springfield. Damien was in Portmore. Damien was at a lot of divisional conferences. But Damien is not a threat to him. Damien is not a threat to him because Damien has no seat. And them continuously propping up Damien and make him feel good and send out them people for to talk about Damien for leader and Ray, which is ridicule him because them know him has a seat. And both them and the labor rights work in tandem with that. So Damien never threatened him. But Lisa Hanna threatens him. And my God, we're going to go into deep that I want to quickly round this up so I can bring on Michelle. We're going to go deep in that tonight. So he went on this conference circuit. Spoke at every conference. Danced at every conference. That the whole thing when I do with him knee up in him chin. And that we were bending up a face thing like him a junglist. And you see ma, and I go on that them thing there, and the chin in there. Him go every conference doing that foolishness. Him talk. Him show up himself. Him show off. Him go on. Him ray blah blah. For an entire year. Him tour and him do conference. And when he was doing that, he was 21%. Then the first poll came before the conference and he was 18%. Then he did the conference thing and the next 12 tours and telling people, him and him surrogates about there, telling you the PNP people who me know and I listen to them. Trust me, me know so and I listen to them. Them no know so and I listen to them. Them not paying attention to uno. They're not busy doing them in their own little world. The man toured the place 12 times for the year. The man went to every divisional conference, every single divisional conference that him could go to. Introducing all ex-laborites who lose them seat and join PNP and I put up all them finger them a show. Going out with all kind of antics. And at the end of that, at the end of the 12th tour, at the end of the conferences, him commissioned a poll. Him commissioned a poll to give him the desired results that he wanted. Michelle, I welcome Michelle coming to deal with that. But him commissioned a poll. And the first thing that came out of that poll was the man is now at 14.7%, down from 18%. And I'm breaking it down for you. If him go in there with 18%, tour the entire country, went to all the divisional conferences, went to all Peter Phillips conference. He went to all Peter Phillips conference. I mean, conference is the place, every conference I go to is the place where PNP people get to see the leader and decide that, you know, if he's a good leader and they want him to lead and ray, blah, blah. The man went to every conference and then he came out of those conferences losing PNP votes. Losing 3.3 of the 18% that he had. When you hear me, PNP people, the leader of the PNP tour for a year, went to almost every divisional conference and did not pick up one more PNP to follow him. Think about that, PNP people. Think about it. Him going there with 18%, him supposed to come out with if it's even 19 for sure that him tour for a year and pick up one. Him never even pick up one more PNP. Not even one more. Instead, him lose 3.3 PNP. 3.3 PNP walk well left him. 3.3 PNP saw him, heard him. Probably even spoke to him and observed him and decided, say, no, this now work for me. 3.3 PNP, probably 4 PNP. Tell them I'm not with him. The man lose PNP, the first in the history of this country. I seen a party leader, personal ratings went down amongst his own people. Not a national thing, you know. His own people, because nationally, nobody now look upon him. Because Andrew Holness lose 13 points and him not get none of Andrew Holness 13 points. I said to you, so if you listen to what Michelle has said to you, you know. Me I set it up so you can hear what Michelle have to say to you. Andrew Holness lose 13 points. Him never get none of Andrew Holness 13 points. Instead, him lose somewhere where him have. While Andrew Holness 13 points sit down somewhere, observe things. That is the leader I want to have. I tell you no. That him going to turn prime minister and him going to win. And him don't know so who don't believe that. That's where I want to start tonight. So, where are you, Michelle? So without further ado, Michelle, I don't see you. Okay, there you go, Michelle. I invite you. You can't say I never invite you. I invite you, Michelle. Hold on there, Anthony. Let me bring on Michelle first to deal with this poll thing. And because we spent many a nights at 3 o'clock morning, me I fall asleep. So I fall asleep, left them on the phone trying to finish it up. Spare hours a night. Michelle's turn. Come on the phone, man. Where are you? But comrades, that is the mix of the matter. Mark Golding, as a PNP leader, losing PNP votes. PNP people, they're not with him. They might leave him. And I bet you, and I don't have no money tonight to bet you, But if we should do an next poll 6 months from now, more PNP people gonna left him. No matter what kind of shenanigans I'm gonna play with this poll. Which are waiting on Michelle to come and explain to us. Let me see if she's here. There you go. Michelle, this is saying that you are unable to join because of technical issues. You need to This is the first time doing this. I don't know if you do this, and I don't put me on. Don't make me look stupid tonight on this thing because I am not tech savvy. Huh? I want to walk me through the adding thing, and I got it, but I mean, I don't see you, Michelle. There she is. She is up.
Hi.
Good night.
Hi, everybody.
Michelle.
Hello.
Comrade, let me introduce to you again. Comrade Michelle Stern, Secretary for the Resistance, Head of our Research Department, and the brains of this operation.
She's I'm really content to have you, man.
So, Michelle,
I hope we can do this tonight.
So, yeah, Michelle, so let's drill down into this poll thing. The PNP people don't want to hear about it. So, we kind of cover the first part with Mark Golding losing PNP votes and PNP people in enough with him. Now we want to go to the second part, which now prove that not only is he losing PNP votes, but he's unable to capture the imagination of any other voters out there, including the ones that doing nothing with the JLP right now. We are also going to prove that he is the drag on the party, that in this time with these poll numbers, the PNP should be surging. The PNP should be like 40 points ahead based on this poll that they commission. The PNP should be 40 points ahead. But because of him, Mark Jefferson Golding, the PNP stuck, and them a fly high, like them dip and coke. Go ahead, Michelle.
Boy, I don't know where to start. Having given such a wonderful introduction. All right, so let me begin by pointing out, good evening, Jamaica. Not just comrades, but we're talking to Jamaicans now. The electorate. So we were hit by the poll. I mean, I went up very early to get the Gleaner last week Sunday, and to my shock, the first poll that came out was to do with the performance of the leaders. I'm just trying to get rid of this chat in front of me. I'd like to see myself instead. Oh, let us see, because I can interact. Sorry about that. So anyway, so it was the performance. Now, there are two types of leadership polls that they do. One of them is performance, and the other one they call what they call it now. Well, let me start with the performance. The performance is basically how they are managing their portfolio. The prime minister, is he doing a good job as a prime minister? The leader of the opposition, is he doing a good job as the leader of the opposition? So that's a performance poll. Then you have the other poll now, which is the favorability poll, which is a different type of poll. Now, sometimes you will hear people interchanging and say that between performance and the favorability, right? It's not the same. For performance, you can always improve. So even though they're getting a bad rating, they can always improve, and the people will look at the performance and say, yes, madam, improve, and give them a higher mark. When it comes to favorability now, that strikes me.
Share the live.
That strikes me as something is like a beauty contest. You either like them or you don't like them for whatever reason. You don't have to have no reason. You understand? And the one that was done for Mark, the favorability is done by Bill Johnson poll, and Don Anderson does the performance. When he was at 17% in 2021, that was a Bill Johnson poll, and that was the favorability. And that favorability is telling you that the people, 17%, which means 83% of the people of Jamaica, the electorate, has an unfavorable view of Mark Golding. Now, we don't know what he is now because Bill Johnson, as far as I know, hasn't done any more poll, not external ones. Now, on Sunday, that poll, the Don Answer poll, recent one was conducted between February 17 and February 26. And just so you know, that poll was not leaked. Dayton Campbell, Dr. Dayton Campbell, the general secretary of the party, he was on the morning program, TVJ's morning program, Smile Jamaica, talking about the local government elections. And he said that the government's reasons for not having the local government election is not the real reason, and that they conducted a poll and they were going to release the numbers, which would demonstrate to the electorate, the Jamaicans, why it is that the government, the real reason why the government is postponing the local government election. So my dear people, me dash out there early Sunday morning and got the Gleaner. And on the front page, the Gleaner had Mark Golding, the president of the PNP and leader of the opposition. His poll rating fell from 18% to 14.7%. The poll rates the very good, those who said that he's very good, and those who said that he is good. Those are the two to consider in the performance. The average is saying so-so, meaning that is neither here nor there. The average also does not impact how the people will vote, so you just count that out. You put it there for them to say something, you count it out. Poor and very poor is also considered in the performance poll. So the total of the good and very good was 14.7%, and the poor and very poor was 49%. That increased by 10%. So what happened was 3.3% of the people who said his performance was good and very good in 2022 left him, and 7.1% who said his performance was average, which weren't counted in the first place. They also went to poor and very poor. So his performance actually is seen by the persons that were in the poll, and there were 1,002. Sample size was 1,002, and they found that they believe that his performance was poor, 49%. That's nearly half. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, the next day I heard about this other poll, which was done, and they asked, another question which was asked, and the question was, they asked the people if they are better off now than they were 3 years ago. I was surprised. I wonder why they asked 3 years. 3 years ago, we had a lockdown. We have all these lockdowns, so I don't know who was worse off. And therefore, the answer that you're going to get is going to look nice for the government. And don't ask if it not look good, because 43% said their personal situation, and personal situation and not the economy, not a perception of the economy, them personally, 43% of this 1,002 said that their situation got better, little better and much better when compared to the onset of COVID in 2020, right? Now, I'm kind of wondering if they're talking about before or during the COVID. But if in mind how you ask people questions, and they will interpret it different ways. But here's the thing, that is 43%, nearly 50, 24% said that their situation had not changed, and 32.5% said that the situation got worse. No, I had an argument with a comrade. Me love the comrade, this man, although me just meet him and got his number, me and him a quarrel already. So anyway, I said to him that that 24% is not to be added in with the ones that are saying that the situation got worse. He was arguing otherwise. And then I pointed out to him, when you're looking at these polls, you have to look at the situation that exists in the country. And since 2022, aside from the lockdowns and all that, prices have been soaring. I mean, you go to the supermarket, you go to the market, prices of food is very high and usually go up and then come down and then go up. Not like that and then come down. The prices are high for about 2 years now. Day in and day out. You're talking about transportation costs went up, right? You're talking about other costs. I mean, the general costs went up. Now it's not. It's the war that is between Russia and Ukraine is part of the problem, and some other things are happening, and nobody seems to know what is going on. Why it is that there's a food shortage, and therefore it would impact food prices there and food prices in Jamaica because a lot of what we eat is imported. All right, Jamaica and comrades. So when 24% is going to tell you in those circumstances that their situation had not changed, then you must ask a question. What they mean by that? I mean, these things have a price, a cost implication, right? Everything is going up, and for them condition to change, what it does, it tells you that for them, this particular group of people, consumers, their income was able to increase to match not exceed, match the rising prices and the other costs.
And their expenses.
And their yes, right? So if they were getting 100,000, spending 50,000 and saving 50,000, that is what they want to do,
That's good.
right? And the prices go up and they go and get more income there. They are in a position to pay themselves more if they are self-employed, or they ask and receive an increase from the boss. The position is still the same. So they tell you that nothing has changed for them. Now, for those who are 32.5%, their situation got worse. What that would tell you now is that during COVID, if they lost their jobs, they're not employed, they may have to take less job. They may have to take a job that pays them less. Things just got worse.
Work less hours, which cut their salaries.
Exactly. Now, the thing about, and when I look at this poll, it struck me when I was doing up these notes. I said to myself, you know something? I can now understand why it is that these pollsters never get the thing right. As soon as election over, them have to be performing all manner of gymnastics to explain that, that the figure, when you minus this and add that and subtract this and divide that, it work out to what the poll results said. When it was Carl Stone, and those who are old enough to remember Carl Stone, man never wrong, me don't know him to be wrong. If Carl Stone did a poll and says that Jamaica is going to vote 57 to 43, you can bet your bottom dollar when the poll result is over, it is 57 to 43, right? I don't know him to be wrong. And since he died, these pollsters can't seem to get it right. And I now see the reason why. Now, the PNP, very smartly, I have to agree, when you're doing a poll like this, that is going to affect their fortunes. They want to know, because they're asking political questions, they're asking social questions. They want to know where the people are. They want to know what position the party itself is in. You therefore need to know how many other persons that are answering these questions are PNP and how many of them are JLP. So they asked the question. Let me see the question now. So this question that they asked was intended to find out just how many of the poll. So if they did the poll and found out that 35% of them were labor rights and just 25% PNP and the rest are this and that or not at all, then they'd have to calibrate the figures in order to reflect something that would give them an accurate look at what the situation is for the party. So they did just that. And the question that they asked was this: which of the two main parties would you be more inclined to vote for? So they might ask you, so which one of party then you support, PNP or JLP? 28.1% said PNP, 27.9% said JLP, 25% said they're not voting, right? So they're neither PNP nor JLP. And 19% were undecided. You understand? As to whether or not they're inclined to be voting PNP or JLP.
How many said about PNP?
28.1%. So that no, so 28.1% PNP, 27.9% JLP. That's just a difference of 0.2%. So when
Where you going, Michelle? What the hell? Comments, please bear with us. Please bear with us. I don't know what happened. Michelle, where are you? Please bear with us. Michelle have internet issues down in the fair, wonderful city of town of Ocho-Rios. So I don't know. But while Michelle is trying to fix her issues, we can let me try one more time. Nothing. Here we go.
yeah, sorry about that. The thing just vanished.
Well, maybe you need just skip over some little things and get to the main points, Michelle.
Well, no, yeah, man, no, this is important. It's not going to be much longer. No, the point that I'm making is this, right? So the split between the PNP and the JLP is almost even. So, so they know that much. When it came now to asking the people, they asked the people this particular question: if national elections were to be held shortly, would you go out and vote? 44% said, 44.4% says yes. Now, if you were to use that figure now to calculate what that means in terms of the voters list, how many persons on the voters list, this 44% would translate to 888,780 people said they would go out and vote, right? Now, why I say this poll is problematic is that when you look at the, I guess they call it demographics, this 43% who said the situation got better, and this 24% that said the situation is more or less the same, who are they going to vote for? That's one of the questions that they'll ask. I would have expected the pollster to ask them these particular set of people from a different branch of the society. So you had the 32.5% are probably poor people, minimum wage, and people under the poverty line. When you ask them and they say for them situation gets worse, you have to ask them, so who you're going to vote for? So you can have some idea, right? That when you're going to take the voters list now, if you have that demographics of the voters list, you can now say, all right, the 32% of the poor people say X going to say they're going to vote PNP, X, Y say they're going to vote JLP. When you look at the voters list now, you work that out, and then you look at those persons now, because 67.5% of the people who said that their situation didn't change or they're better off, that is not reflective of the Jamaican society. The majority of the people, about 83% of the people in Jamaica, are living on the minimum wage and below. So this now is not really telling you much, except that the whole thing is skewed, because the people who are here, 67.5 of them, is not reflective of the population, right? Now, what I find even more startling was the fact that they did not ask the people, the respondents, this question: which is the party standing. That was never asked. The party standing standard question, which Don Anderson asks every time, is this: if national elections were to be held, which party you're going to vote for? Which of the two political parties are you inclined? Are you more inclined to vote for? That is what the question. No, if they ask,
which should have been in the original first question about when they identify what their party affiliation is.
no, that
It
is
should
a
have
separate
followed up with
question.
that. It should have been
No,
followed up with that.
yes, that one that asks them if they intend to go out and vote is a good question to ask.
Yeah,
But you
but
need,
the political affiliation should have been followed by that, which will
no,
give you a better indication of to where they are.
no. The only reason you want to know what the political
Yeah.
affiliation is to just to make sure that it's to know whether or not you can remember it's random people, you know, whether or not
Yeah.
the thing is skewed by labor rights or too much PNP is being interviewed. So the results what you're going to get is going to skew according to which party the people support.
Yeah.
You follow me?
Yeah.
Right. So the question, a separate question should have been asked, which is, if an election were to be held today, not shortly, today, which of the would you be more inclined to vote for? Which party would you vote for? That's it. That's the standard, and that was not asked. Now, I notice, because I like to notice things, they somehow them tend to notice me, I suppose. I noticed that the Gleaner asked the question, the Gleaner put forward an explanation that the 44% that said that they were inclined to go and vote. That was where they got the which two parties would you be inclined to vote for. That's where it came from. Well, let me tell you, that cannot be, because it doesn't make any sense. When you look at when you add up, when you look at the question, which of the two main parties would you be inclined to vote for, right? Then I mentioned about no election. They simply ask you which party you're inclined to vote for. When you add 28.1% for the PNP and 27.9% for the JLP, you get 56%. When you look at the other question, if the national elections were held shortly, would you go to vote? It's only 44% of them say yes. 44 minus 56, that's 12% of the people. So it's telling you that the two polls are not related. And if they were even to be related, the questions were not the way in which they publish the questions. It's in the reverse order. In other words, they would have asked the people first, which of the two parties would you be inclined to vote for? And 56% said which party. And then they said to them, if national elections were to be held shortly, would you go out and vote? And then 44% said yes, which means that 12% would have told them, no, they're not going to vote. I wonder if you understand, it cannot be the other way around. So what happened was the Gleaner realized that the party standing was not included, and obviously asked one of them, either Don Anderson or the PNP, for it, and they said, no man, it is dear man, just use them two figure they were sending you. And now they're running around the place a full of people tell them that this question, which was intended simply to find out how many PNP, how many JLP are in the poll, right? And now claiming that that is supposed to be the party standing. Where is the question? Where is the question that mentioned an election now? That's not part of it. That question, if it was asked, they haven't released it. So we would like to know what that is. And if the questions, and that question was not asked, Don Anderson need to explain why was it not asked?
Maybe it was not part of the question here. Remember, the poll was commissioned by the PNP.
That is what I was just about to say.
They would have sat down with him and outlined with him the kind of questions they want asked to get the desired results that they seek. But the stupidity of the question of the poll would be, why not seek the entire truth?
Well, they may have
because this isn't the truth. This puts you in a bad position that you know riding high, on this perceived truth, which is not the truth.
And it may be, and I was going to qualify it and say to the listeners and the viewers that we must remember that it was a PNP that commissioned the poll. So even if they ask the question, they can choose if they want to not to release it. Matter of fact, if you go on the PNP's website now and look at for the questions that were asked, the one question you will not see on that website was the one that spoke about the leader's performance. They didn't post it. Right? They posted the one which spoke about, they've asked the people, what about the third term for the Labour Party, right? What direction, whether or not the country is going in the right direction or wrong direction. And the people said that the JLP should not be re-elected.
A wrong direction poll. When a poll says that, when a majority of people say that the country is going in the wrong direction, it's usually a good indicator as to where the voters would go. But when you have so many other variables suggesting that the voters not going the way the wrong direction poll going, then you must know that the poll that you have commissioned and never asked the questions that could give you the most accurate information is not only skewed, but it puts you in a bad position and you really don't know what to go do now because you're living into a fantasy now, thinking that this is good.
Exactly.
Because the wrong direction, that number, the wrong direction poll number always tracks with the party number and the leader of the party number, or the government number and the leader of the government party number. It always tracks. So if the wrong direction poll is saying 55% of the country feel that, I remember a poll, I don't know, Lawrence will remember it better than me because he used it so much time. There was a poll during PJ time that was saying that I think something like 45% of the country was saying that the country going in the wrong direction, and then the same 45% was saying they're not changing the government.
Yes.
So if the wrong direction poll usually tracks with how voters thinking, what they're going to be doing if the election should be called no. And this does not track.
But not just that. When you take into consideration, it's saying here that 53.5% say that the country is going in the wrong direction. And yet here is 43% over here so saying that the situation improved. In the situation where the country going on the wrong, it must be right for you. So it can't be wrong for you.
Right.
Here, look here, this poll is flawed. And I should
listen, I'm not blaming Dan Anderson because the poll, anybody could easily say about Dan Anderson the poll. We could possibly, some people would even say, but Dan Anderson, be careful about how he do these polls because it questions some of his credibility because of some of the questions that are missing. But then, as I said, he might have asked those questions. Maybe them don't really release those answers. But that wrong track number is the key indicator of where voters should line up. And if the wrong track is 50, is almost 54%. And the PNP is just what? 2 point what?
What's that? You mean and 28% of the people who were questioned the sample size. It's 28.1% of them were PNP.
Yeah. And of that 21.5%, 40, how much of them, 40, how much percent?
Well, 43% of them, 43% of the respondents said that their situation got much better, and another 24 said nothing changed.
So the PNP should be ahead by about 43 points then?
They should be much higher. And this is indicating that more people are going to vote.
Something not right about this poll. Something not right about it.
Now we know that the demographics was done. Let me tell you why. We know the demographics was done because Don Anderson said, I saw it this morning, one of the commentary that he made, that the PNP needs to be concerned about the fall in support from the 45 upward age group.
Yeah.
So one to mention that, you know, the demographics was done. PNP's strongest votes are in that category, 55 and over, if I remember right. Right? And he said 45 and over. They are trending down. They're losing support there, and we know they don't have the youngsters. Right? So that is telling.
And that number, that 45 age group up, it ties into the election turnout in 2020. It ties into it. That age group ties into it based on some of the data that we've been looking at in terms of the people who show up and the people who did not show up. And a good chunk of that grouping did not show up for the PNP. But it have nothing to do with COVID. No, I'm not to do with COVID. Go ahead, Michelle. Wrap it up.
All right. So I would say that this poll, except for the performance, which is a direct question that is asked. No, this poll is very dangerous now, because if 28%.
How did I know you were going to use the word dangerous?
Yes, if 28.1% PNP were participating, right? He said also that 46% of those who identified them as PNP said they were traditional PNP, right?
The base.
Yeah, they you know, them don't know not about politics. They only want to hear PNP, they want to race and they run, they go do them thing. You understand? They are PNP people. These are the diehard, you would call them. Now, 46% of that 28% is 12.9%. We can do the calculation of we never did it though, the 800,000 that said that they would vote, and see what the PNP can look forward to. There are two things that we have to notice. Two things. Let me make sure I'm not find myself in a Mark's position. Me use two things. There are two things that we should know. Let me begin by saying that with the performance, with 28.1% of the respondents being PNP people, and Mark got a low rate of good and very good from 14.7. It means that there are so much now. 14 from 13.3% of the PNP people not impressed by him.
Let me ask you a question. 82,000 plus Jamaicans voted for the 14 MPs that we have now. Huh? How does that 14.7 tracks with that?
Oh, I can't go into my thing. Let me just go into this one over here. And the glasses are finally pop off. It was threatening to pop off on the court date. Well, they pop off now.
Come on, people, the resistance secretary need a new glasses. Glasses expensive. We don't need to come with some dollars to buy a glasses for the resistance secretary. No, we must come with some dollars to buy a glasses.
Times 0.147. We are talking about 12,054. That will be 12. We assume that these people are the ones that voted for the MPs. It's 12,054 of that amount would find Mark's performance excellent, good, and very good.
Of the
82.
Plus 82.
Yes, we're going to work across the board, right?
That voted for the 14 of them.
Right. Now, let me tell you.
Did you look at the voter apathy thing?
Yeah, I want to tell you something. When we look at the 44%, so you might make a vote, right? That's 888,780 based on the new numbers. And the last time, yes, there are 2 million people on the voters list now from November, right? So we're using the November list. That's the last one. Now, if you look at the ones that said that
how much was on the voters list in 2020?
It was 1,913,410. So 88,349 was added since 2020.
Yeah.
Now, if we take a little look now at the 28.1% of the PNP, or the 44%, right? 28.1% of the PNP people, right? Going to vote. That's 28% of that 800 plus thousand. Works out to 249,747 people.
Hold on, man. Hold on. Back it up. You need to repeat that.
Remember now, you have 100%, and only 28% said they said that them a PNP, and they are most likely to vote for the PNP.
And let's assume that 28 are base voters. You put an orange for a dog, them are vote for him.
Yes.
That's that thing.
And they said them inclined to vote, right?
And they make up how much of the almost 2 million people on the list?
No, they told me 2 million, because it's not 2 million said they would vote. Right. It's 888,000.
All right. How much of that they make up?
249,747. That means
250,000 people.
That means that if it is true and nothing changes, the PNP is going to drop a further 56,287 on top of the 127,000 that they lost in 2020.
And based on our previous findings about where the voter apathy is the highest in St. Catherine, that puts the 4 St. Catherine seats at risk.
So what I'm saying here, I'm saying to those people who are running the PNP now, right? Putting out polls that contradicts the reality that people are experiencing on the ground. It's not going to help you, and it's not going to help the party. I want the truth. Make me come out and cuss you, because at least you have the truth. You can now work with the truth to improve. But if you go with a lie and you focus on this lie, right, making your decisions on this lie, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Michelle. That was great. I'm sure the people here.
I hope
the Resistance Secretary need a new glasses. We're going to go on a fundraising thing to see if we can buy you a new glasses. And let me just make this very, very clear right at this moment that the war room is in session at the end of this. Thanks, Michelle.
All right then. Good night, everybody. Hope you understand. How do I hang up now?
I don't know.
Libra.
Thank you, Comrade Michelle. That was an excellent overview of the polls by the Resistance Secretary, Comrade Michelle Stern. Comrades, on a seat, we tell you, given the numbers, we explain it to you. Now, you must ask them, the PNP people, you must ask Dayton Campbell, Mark Golding, Angela Brownberg, and Paul Burke, who share stuff. You must ask them to explain the thing to you. It is a flawed poll number that they're putting out there. And then boasting it up and bigging it up and feel good putting it themselves and then doing it high. Now let's draw next parallel about something that Michelle just closed off with. The most important thing that Michelle just closed off with. Why do we go to the doctor? As I'm feeling in my head, kind of feeling a little funny when I was sitting here. I mean, that's because I was a little high early on in my opening. So I'm trying to just bring it down a bit. Why do we go to the doctor? Your head hurt you. You want to go to the doctor. You want the doctor to tell you that if your head hurt you here, sir, you're probably not getting enough sleep. If your head hurt you here, sir, you probably need to eat. You want to know the reasons why your head hurt you so that you can fix it. Now, this poll that they were so desperate to keep Mark Golding, that they went out, got this poll done, and don't get the entire truth to give it to you. And they don't even get the entire truth to give to themselves so that they can fix what the problems are. They're not interested in that, they don't care about that. Mark Golding just wants to stay as leader and stay as leader of the opposition. And I tell you tonight, he's not going nowhere. If the polls, one final thing on the polls, come on for the polls, one final thing. If the polls are so great and you in there believe that it is so great, I have not listened to Mark Golding budget speech, but that budget speech should be talking about all the things that is wrong with the country and then calling for elections. Then Mark Golding should go home or go to the office and write a long letter to the Prime Minister copy to all those who need, and outline the reasons why we need to have an election now, because the government not enjoying the confidence of the people. But them can't prove that. Them can't prove that because the poll don't say that. The poll don't say that the Jamaican people, the government not enjoying the high confidence of Jamaican people. The poll said none of the two of them not enjoy the confidence of the Jamaican people. How stupid are you to do a poll that would come out and say the other guy not doing well, but you not better than him? PNP people, you don't need to stop let them lie to you. You don't need to get the truth. The only way for you as PNP people and as delegates to make informed decisions is for you to know the facts and know the truth. How can they tell you that they are in a better position than the other guy when everything in those numbers tell you that them and the other guy basically in the same position? Plus, the other guy lost some points, which you no pick up. How do they explain that? But it's up to you. We'd have to go see them and talk about that. We have some other things that we want to get through very, very quickly before I could just get through some things very quickly and go to the main points. Mutabaruka did a psychoanalysis of Mark Golding and likened Mark Golding to a guy who sit down on a park bench in a park, musing to himself, talking to himself about the day's activity. Mutabaruka, the most socially conscious person in this country. Mutabaruka, who used to visit us in high schools barefooted, and we thought it was cute, said that Mark Golding don't have a clue. Mutabaruka said Mark Golding is clueless. Mutabaruka said Mark Golding don't have a grasp of what he's doing. He don't know what he's doing, and them don't know why them put him there. Mutabaruka is saying that no matter what goes wrong with the JLP, Mark Golding can be right. That's what Mutabaruka is saying. On the PNP people, Mutabaruka just psychoanalyze the guy that all of you voted for, selling a vote for, sell out Norman Manley party to, and have him there telling him that he can dance, telling him that when he attack Jamaican him sound good, telling him that him clothes them look good for him. I don't have him there telling him all of that, and Mutabaruka just blew that in the water. Mutabaruka saying clueless. Mutabaruka saying no sense. He don't know what I do. Mutabaruka is saying, let me give you the good news what Mutabaruka is saying, because we have had a lot of fun with it. But let me tell you the good news that Mutabaruka is saying in that commentary that he did at Mark Golding. The good news that you must take as good news, and you must go try and fix it. The good news what Mutabaruka is saying, in my understanding, my analysis of it all, Mutabaruka is not saying that he not like Mark. Mutabaruka is not saying that Mark is not a good person in Mutabaruka's estimation. Mutabaruka is saying that Andrew Holness is effing everything up. That's the first part of what Mutabaruka is saying. That's the good news part of it for PNP, you know. Mutabaruka is saying Andrew Holness is effing it all up. But Mark Golding can't get it right to push Andrew Holness over the precipice. That's what Muta is saying, you know. On one hand, Andrew is messing it up. And Mutabaruka never said that, because Andrew is the Prime Minister. Mutabaruka is an entertainment and a satirist and a social commentator and a conscious Rastaman. He's saying that Andrew Holness now get it right. But he's also saying that we don't have no choice. It's like Jamaican people don't have no choice, because Mark Golding can't get it right either. Because Mark Golding is not into things. He just know what go on. That's basically what Muta said. He didn't know what go on. And that's a good news for you PNP people. The good news that Mutabaruka given that him now cut it and we have an opportunity to push him out. Because him now leave, you know. I would never push him out. Him now leave. Him now gonna win. Him and Bunting and make money. That's the purpose of him being there. For Bunting to build more houses and buy more banks, and for Mark to get his cut, and for everybody, for them orbit to get rich. Not everybody, a few. in their orbit to continue to be rich and richer. So Mark not going nowhere. It's enough to go push him out. And that's the end of that with the Mutabaruka thing. The constituency assessments that we have been doing. Well, I haven't put out another one yet since I did the last one on Angela Brownberg, who has been down in Southwest St. Andrew for 3 years and never enumerate not even one person on the voters list. So we will continue with those assessments. We have a few to go. We have Lothian Cousins. We have Fitz Jackson. We have Mark Golden. We have Peter Phillips. We have Lisa Hanna. There's somebody else. There must be somebody else, I think. Oh yes, and Philip Paulwell. We have not yet reached those constituencies, but we will get there. And I already told you how I'm going to do both Southeast St. Anne and East Central St. Andrew to give you a clear picture of all that it is. All right? So, comrades, I want to get into the very quickly. I hope I can spend not too much time on it. Southeast St. Anne. The Jamaican people are asking, should Lisa Hanna reconsider? Some are not asking. Some are saying that Lisa Hanna should reconsider her decision that she took last August to say that she's leaving representational politics. And once again, PNP people, the people in Mark Golden constituency, the people surrounding Mark Golden, once again, we don't have all the truth and all the facts. So it is our duty and responsibility as good PNP to give it all to you. So here goes. There has not been a selection conference for the councillors of the Southeast St. Anne constituency since 2015. Some of you might have remembered that Lisa Hanna went to a conference, I don't know which conference, and moved a no confidence motion against Paul Burke when he was General Secretary. She did so against the backdrop that every time she asked for the conference to be held, the General Secretary sandbagger and don't hold the conference. Paul Burke didn't hold none. Julian Robinson didn't hold any either. And so no selection conferences has been done for these councillors that are sitting there now. In 2020, during the leadership race, Lydia, that ugly Lydia, she, ugly Garrick, and Weir announced that they will not be seeking re-election as councillors. They announced their retirement in 2020 during the election between Lisa and Mark. They announced their retirement. The two ugly people plus Mr. Weir. When they announced that they were retiring, Lisa Hanna saw this as an opportunity to rebuild the constituency. Some people in the constituency, in the leadership end of the constituency, told me that Lisa Hanna recognized at the time that the constituency was losing ground, that the constituency numbers were not looking as healthy as she would have wanted it. And everybody felt that the councillors were a drag in the constituency. It was them, not the MP. It was them. It was them because they were constantly quarreling about more money that they were not spending in the divisions, more money that Lydia use and give Wizzy contract, and then Wizzy take that money as issue out to people and make people believe that it's him giving them money. More money, more this, more that. Gary Kim had already lost the PNP seat. And him lost the PNP seat in money by coming second in a three-way race. In the three-way race, the independent candidate only lost by 10 less votes to Gary. So Gary has been a drag on the constituency for a while. So let me just back up a bit. They announced that they are leaving. And the constituency set about selecting new candidates. Michelle, Sonny, Richard, anyone of them can put up those if you can find candidates that Southeast and selected when these three ugly thieves are not, well, I think we're out of it. Where Mr. We're not into it. It's really Lydia, Garrick, and Bell Meta. Craven, that big belly, craven, ugly man. Bell. Thief in Lydia. Ugly like sin, and Garrick, him is the next level of ugly. And they announced that they are leaving. Lisa and the constituency selected new candidates. They selected 3 new candidates. Lisa started walking with those candidates. Walking and introduce them. If you visit our social media page, you would have seen some of those things that she was doing, walking with our new candidates that the constituency signed off on. Now, if we back up a little bit, you will also know that during the time when Lisa Hanna was down there battling all of them, that this was led by the Burkes. We already told you that Paul and Angela Blomberg were the ringleaders to destabilize the constituency, to run out Lisa Hanna out of the constituency. At one point, I think Angela Blomberg wanted the seat. At one point, I think that Paul Burke was setting up Wizzy to make worries for Lisa so that Angela can get the seat. I think that was the early part of their operation to destabilize Southeast St. Anne and run Lisa Hanna out of Southeast St. Anne. So there you go. They announced, said them retiring, and the constituency selected new candidates to carry forward for those three divisions. Lo and behold, after Mark thief the election and became leader, the 4 of them went to Mark. Those 4 candidates, the 4 councillors them, and 1 will lose. The 3 councillors plus the 1 will lose. Went back to Mark. And they went to Mark at the behest of Paul and Angela Blomberg, who lined them up and set them up to go to Mark and tell Mark that them don't want to retire anymore. Lisa lose to Mark. So them don't want to retire no more. So them go to Mark and tell Mark that them want to run. And I want you to follow me, PNP people. Councillors will watch live. MPs will see the live. Constituency leaders, I want you to hear me, They're retired. The constituency chairman and member of parliament got new candidates. She started walking with them, introducing them to the constituency. Things began to pick up again in the constituency. And then bam, Mark win. And the 3 of them, 4 of them went to Mark and tell Mark they would like to run back. Mark, being the devious, sick, crooked that he is, tell them that yes, them to run back. Because Bunting, Angela, Ian Years, I can't tell you how disappointed I am in Ian Years. And I'm going to give it to him because I never knew that he was a part of that. Never knew. And I'm going to give it to him. Him, Dayton, Angela, Bunting, and Paul Burke. That together. Tell the thieving councillors, ugly thieving councillors, them say, oh, don't leave. Don't leave. I must go easy on the delegates. Yes, the fraudulent groups. All right. Yes. All right. I will go easy on the delegates. But I can't go easy on the delegates, Sonny. The delegates, them know better than that. Them are Norman man, the delegates. They should not have allowed these guys to buy them out. They should not have sold them birthright to this white man. They should not have done it. And them not going to hear the end of it from me because them sold them birthright to this white background as a man whose parents owned slaves. For them 4 parents. But anyway, Mark Golden tell them, yes, you're not going to run back. The whole situation was created by Bunting, Hills, and the Burkes, and Dayton Campbell, and them tell them gather them back. The sole purpose of them telling them to run back was to destabilize the constituency and cause Lisa Hanna to lose or come close to lose. That was the sole purpose, because they want to get rid of her out of the constituency. And it got me thinking, It got me thinking all of last week when I hearing, after the polls, when I hear some new cries across the country, some new people calling me, people that haven't spoken to, people that I've never met, and people who tell me that them see me come in the community, but me never see them, or some whatever fool, that people always have some fool for rigmarole argument. So there's this new cry from people that Lisa Hanna should reconsider. And Lisa Hanna should stay in politics, and Lisa Hanna should stay in her seat. And we'll soon get to that seat thing about that. So after them set up the councillors then to go back and send them a run back, I want to pause here and I want to ask the 12 member of parliament, when I include Mark and Angela, I want to ask you, Tony Hilton got rid of Kevin Taylor out of the Duane Park division. Tony Hilton. It was not Philip Paulwell, as some people, even Kevin, believe. It was Tony Hilton who said he wants Kevin Taylor out of the Duane Park division. Angela and Philip Paulwell went along with it because him is the member of parliament. And I want to ask you this. Which one I know? You, Philip Paulwell, you, Tony Hilton, you, Fitz Jackson, you, Angela Brownberg, you, Dennis Daly, you, all of the asking this. Which leader of the party could come into the constituency and tell you that you must take back councillors that you change already and put in new candidate? Which one of you would tolerate it? Which one of you would have tolerated the leader of the party telling you as a member of parliament that you can't change them people there, make them stay after you change them and got new candidate? Who could have done that to any of you? Answer me. I want the PNP people sooner ask could that. Who could have come out of East Kingston, Philip Paolo, come tell you to get rid of Jackie and Lorraine, and then I'm put in some people? Who could have come over Western St. Andrew, Tony Hilton, and tell you to get rid of your councillors and put the, which leader could do that? Your constituency, without any good reason. No good reason. No good reason except hatred against the member of parliament. Who could have come into your constituency? Natalie. Nobody could come in Natalie constituency. Denny's. Hugh Graham, well, you just come the other day, you and cousins. Dr. Guy. Mark Golin. You have chosen 2 new candidates for your 2 division to replace Marcia Anita and Pastor White. You have chosen 2 new candidates. Let's have an argument and say you weren't the party leader, but you're the member of parliament of South St. Andrew. Who could come down there and tell you, don't use Sarah and Comrade Newland, use back the 2 old candidates? PG or Peter Phillips could have come down to South St. Andrew and tell you, say, make them stay and make them run back. Who could have done that to you, Mark Golin? Who in the Great People's National Party could have gone in any of your constituency after the change of the councillors? Nobody couldn't tell Tony Hilton nothing. He wanted Kevin Taylor out. And it's a norm. It's a thing in the People's National Party. The MP can use whatever available constitutional rigmarole available to him. Regional leaders can get on board with him to get rid of a particular councillor or councillor candidate. It can be done. But which party leader in the People's National Party would have so bright, so brazen, so disgusting that to come into your constituency after you change your councillor candidates? The constituency I feel the pain. The constituency go down. It look dismal. And them announce them retirement because Lisa has been on them case from the time she said she started giving them money. She on them case because she started giving them the CDF money to spend because the people now get it. It wasn't reaching the people, but because of this diabolical plot to unseat her, to embarrass her, for her to leave, because that is the ultimate desire for her to leave. I will tonight we're going to ask you, I'm going to name you, come on, to tell the PNP people them, well, Lisa Hanna do know. I'm going to defend this passionately. You know, but to make it clear, I'm not defend nobody for any reason. I'm not defend nobody. Because I know Lisa, I mean, I campaign for Lisa Hanna. I like Lisa Hanna. Supported her the last time. But who, which one of uno can stand up and tell the PM, come on, the PNP people, them sue all of uno. Everyone to see them, ask them, where Lisa Hanna do them. Ask them. I'm going to tell you some things tonight where them say, some of them say, as the reason why them are not with Lisa Hanna. I'm going to tell you no, because we need to have information in order to make informed decisions. And because we're not delegates that don't seek information, it's up to people like me to give it to you. And if you have any questions, as many of you have, reach out to me and I give you the answer. And if you're not satisfied with the answer, I can give you phone numbers of people you can go get more answers from. You deserve to have information. Mark changed Pastor White. Pastor White don't like it. But Mark changed him. Mark the MP. Now, me personally would not have no quarrel with Mark as the MP for want to change him counselor. Because that's a normal thing in the PNP. For you to ask one counselor, yo, people them so on you, step aside. Tony Hilton changed Kevin Taylor for personal reasons. It wasn't political. That wasn't a political reason. That was personal thing. But him at the MP. So even when Kevin, who's my friend, bring it up to me, say, boy, Kev, I'm at the MP. Because me a PNP, I know how certain things work. So tell me Mark Golin, tell me Tony Hilton, tell me Philip Palwell, Dennis Daly, Natalie, Dr. Go tell me which leader could come down to the constituency and change candidates in our divisions. Which leader? Why? The PNP people need to start to ask, why you hate Lisa Hanna? What is your problem? What she do no? Because I'm going to talk up tonight. If I even want somebody up on the live, me not stop talk. Because the PNP people them out there and the country out there and looking at Mark and say PNP can't come back on the Mark. Now, you can't stay there on the high ass now. Yeah? Feeling good about yourself. The PNP people them and the people in the country say Mark cannot bring back PNP. I don't know how many words people have to tell Mark that. I don't know how many words people are telling that. But people like Angela Brownberg and Palmer have to hold on to Mark because they have nothing else. Mark gone tomorrow. You never hold on for Mark. Date never hold on for Mark. Parchment and people never hold on for Mark. All of the losers they have to hold on for Mark. So they are telling things in their ears that damn buffoon believe. So them announce their retirement. And who go down there, go tell them to go to Mark. And who tell them to go to Mark. Anyone who want to challenge me upon that, challenge me upon that. Let me tell you, say who tell them to go down there, go tell Mark, say, them want to stay, them reconsider. Just to stay down here and give Lisa Hanna grief about her constituency. Just that. Nothing else. Why them hate Lisa Hanna? Boy, I'm thinking at this point I should have made a drink. And I'm going to drink water. Why do they hate Lisa Hanna? I remember during the 2020 election, Tony Hilton said in a group of persons, she will never become leader of the party. In that pompous, tight-ass way, look like him constipated all the time. She'll never become leader of the party. And the young lady said, why? You know what his answer is? She don't get along well with her colleagues. Let me tell you this. All of them. Ian Hills, Lisa Hanna is godmother to Ian Hills' two girls. Counselor, comments let me tell you. Lisa Hanna is godmother to Ian Hills' two girls. Ask him why. I never asked him. Never tell me. So somebody repeat this to me. Now I want to be clear about that. He never tell me somebody repeat this to me. Somebody say, you know, somebody ask me said to Ian Hills say, why Lisa Hanna a godmother to your pitting him? Why you yet do man so? Lisa not talk and the person said, Ian Hills say, you know Lisa don't talk to me. Me pass and tell Lisa morning and Lisa don't talk to me. I'm going to tell you where some of them say, who soon get into it. Lisa not talk to me. Okay. So Tony Hilton him say, she don't get along with her colleagues. Then Ian Hills him say, she don't talk to him. Now, me don't need to go no further with it, to tell you. And that the whole of them say. In some way or another, that is the argument. She either faced it, she don't get along with her colleagues, she come in a meeting, she believes she's above them, blah, blah, she don't tell them morning. You know, people in my community pass me and sweep about my gate and tell me man I'm in answer them. I don't know much people in this community that when me sweep about the lane and clean up and wash the outside my gate, then pass and tell me man that me not answer them. And if they dare ask me one day, why me not answer them? Because tell them me not feel like answering them. I think that hypocrite and iniquity workers do not tell me good morning. Ask the people in my yard, how much time me tell people that? I don't want a good morning from me. Don't tell me good morning. Me attack people in my community, me I tell you, do not tell me. I'm in a room, me never loud up. Listen to me. It's when you pass here, you see me, don't tell me good morning. Why me sit to me never tell you good morning? Because you're a hypocrite and an iniquity worker and you're not good. Don't tell me morning. But tell them that all the time. So here it is. Uno man. Uno can vex with people like mama man. Uno cannot chat to people like big girl. Uno can walk around and behave like uno own the universe. Uno masters of the universe. Uno meet up and slap each other on the back and laugh and drink and behave like uno masters of the universe. And everybody must suck that up. But the minute a strong, educated, competent woman challenge you in that environment, she faced it. She not chat to people. She not get along with her colleagues. It's a whole trope, you know. It's that male mansplaining trope that the whole of have. So what do you want to chat to you? Why should you man chat to you? She don't like you. What? She don't like you, so she don't deserve to be an MP and don't trouble her. She don't chat to her, so she don't deserve to hold her seat and serve her people. She don't chat to her, she don't tell the man, she don't like her, so she deserve to have this massive campaign against the woman because of all of that. Take a look at yourself. Take a look at yourself. No, you not try that with Dennis Daly. You do not try that, and I don't mean any disrespect to you, Joyce. Don't mean any disrespect to you at all, Joyce Denise. And I don't mean a disrespect to Natalie either. I truly like Natalie, truly love Natalie actually. But I'm not going to take them liberty of them. I'm not take them liberty of them. I mean, no, Natalie really don't want to know. Clear and simple. I mean, they've never tell them, no, Denise had to want to know. But not only that, or they don't see Natalie and Denise as a threat, but Lisa is a threat. Lisa is a threat to you because she's bright. Lisa is a threat to you because she's competent. Lisa is a threat to you because she's well loved and well known. She has the love of the Jamaican people, which none of you have. None of you don't have the love of the Jamaican people, the Caribbean, the diaspora, the world, which one only got invited to Queen Elizabeth Jubilee. Now I'm never get invited. Lisa was invited by somebody down at Buckingham Palace and she went. On a bad mind. Uno man in there is bad mind a kill no. And uno look at insecurity a kill no. Uno look at small swivel up dick. And that a kill no. That this strong, competent woman not take the crap from uno. And because she not take the crap from uno, uno come with that kind of thing. She not chat to people. She not get along with her colleagues. So what? So what? Who cares? How about she not getting along with Uno? Uno look a small balls man, soft balls, small dick man. Uno a pea brain. Uno. Look at like a 7-11. Look at Tony Hilton. Always look tight up and look like inconstipated. I can talk about she never believe it. She don't get along with her colleagues. The Jamaican people don't even know who you are, much less to like you, Tony Hilton. They don't even know who you are, much less to like you. You will never, ever, not you, not Ian Hills, not Dayton Campbell, because he was a part of, he was the main man of that part, great conspiracy, you know. The moment he came on the scene in St. Anne, which Lisa helped him do, you know. The moment him came on, Angela and Paul Burke rope him in and set him up to be a part of the whole conspiracy to topple Lisa Hanna, you know. Dayton Campbell. Yes. And she had to back down as regional chairman. And him because he was going to challenge her. And he got it. And after Rod left it in months, Ken couldn't manage it. While she had it for years. You can't stand them things about the woman. So now lead a campaign. You know, lead a campaign against woman to get rid of her out of her seat. Now, when you look swivel up ball, small dick man, with a brain, pea-like brain. Now, not candidates are run up and down there. Only care for all a selection. Only care hold a selection conference with the candidates down there because they do a poll down there and the people them say them want Lisa Hanna to stay. We don't know what I hide that for. What should they hide? People them say they want Lisa Hanna to stay. That's certainly with Patricia Duncan. Them, Mr. Wavell Hines, I don't know, but have a look at cricket pitch somewhere because the people them say they want Lisa Hanna. And the Jamaican people is making it absolutely abundantly clear these days that them want Lisa Hanna to reconsider. Now Lisa Hanna not chat to me. No, as far as me here, most people say they should not chat to them. No, not because she not chat to me. Me I agree with you know to continue this operation to destabilize Southeast and to lose the PNP constituency because that's what I hate for you know. And me I tell you know, Angela and Paul Burke and Wizzy and ugly Garrick and an ugly thief in Lydia and that criminal Bell. If you don't lose PNP Southeast St. Anne seat, tell God and Jesus in heaven say Karen Cecilia Cross say we're not going to answer for it in no uncertain terms. Me I tell you that. Because Uno I destabilize that constituency. And I fight the woman because the woman now suck up to me. Lisa Wizzy a fight because she now give him the punani. She now give him her punash. So that's for him fight. Bail him a fight because she start give him the money. Which him now share with the people. The people of Southeast and clear that Lydia is going to lose Benson Town Division if she run. Me lay my life on that. Me lay my life on that. That Lydia is going to lose Benson Town Division if she runs. She run and hide from the people of Benson Town Division right now. She can't face them. They will look for her. She can't face them. Every time them say they want to see her, she hide. If she drive now, I'll come you to her past some people that see her. She run me like a thief. Appear hours a night and Jim Screechy she and she can't go to our division like a normal counselor. Can them look for her? Carry him? If you ever go down on money and say I'm going to run back as no counselor, I place my life again on that he will lose the PNP seat by more than 300 votes. Me now ask me, I tell you. Now that craven big face one the name Bell. At first he was with Lisa, but then Lisa start giving the money. As $10 come to the constituency, him want 8. And if him not get it, him off and puff and blow the damn blasted place down. So when Lisa Hanna start giving them the money and start to reorganize the place, I mean, I talk for Lisa because she make a whole for mistakes too. And she have a lot of things to blame her. But Uno, around in there, we get her to pile up on the woman. And I said, she can't be leader. Because she not chat to Uno. She can't be leader because she not tell your money. But Cooper Uno too. Cooper Uno to being threatened by a competent and beautiful black woman. Look for Uno. Uno. With a lot of degrees and Ray and Tete being threatened by a woman born to relatively not rich family. A woman who took herself and raised herself up at the pinnacle of her countries across the globe, countries across the whole diaspora and the whole Caribbean would be glad to have her. Uno Dede still a lead an operation to get rid of Lisa Hanna. While Mark Golding, who is a drag on the party, Mark Golding, who is the reason why the party now do better in a fee poll where him commission commission the poll and him not do good at the poll and the party not do good at the poll because of him. The PNP should be about 50 points ahead. Andrew only should be running for cover right now. Andrew only should be running for cover and shooting in there. I build back a thing and I try to see if him can stay in power. Who the do it? Have the balls to organize some little demonstrations. I call those demonstrations. I could tell PNP people, a fool them taking off. I see them demonstrations where them are organized. Let me tell you what it's all about and I want to listen to me. It's a good cop, bad cop thing. They must say, yeah, I could go up there, go demonstrate. We don't want to demonstrate, we don't want to demonstrate. I could go demonstrate and get it. Shh, we don't want to demonstrate, no demonstration. Yeah, man, we could demonstrate. Shh. All right, we could organize 20 people. No, we don't want 130. We could get 100. No, we don't want 130, man, no 130 people. It's a scam them are run per owner with these demonstrations. It's a scam if them act. If Andrew Wall is call an election tomorrow, PNP lose. PNP will lose. Don't make them tell you. I love PNP. I want PNP win. Even if Mark Golding lead, I want PNP to win. But PNP cannot win with Mark Golding. How long is it going to take you to understand that? Eh? How you going to win with him? When him have 18 points and some people, a PNP plan. It's like you having $18. It's like you having $18. Now you go gamble. You come back out with 14.7. You lose. That's all. Now simple math that PNP people. You have $18, you go to the gambling shop, you do a little thing, you come up back with 14.7 out of the $18. Now lose, you lose 3.3 of your money. And somebody else's money you borrow for gambling. Like your money. The 18 he had was his vote, PNP votes. And he lose 3.3 of them after him tour the country 12 times. After him go to every divisional conference and tell Lisa Hanna no go none because she go overshadow him. Look at the big old man them. Afraid of one little woman. One powerful little woman. You see so that buffoon, not duppy. You know how much points ahead the PNP would be if Mark Golding did that toward Lisa Hanna? Or if me that go to conferences with Lisa Hanna? You know how much miles away the PNP would be? If the country was seen a unified PNP with him and Lisa and Damian and Raymond and Philip Palwell and Donna Scott and Denny's and them. You know how much miles away the PNP would be? But no, it's him alone. Him alone out there. I push up him look raw self. You know them people smell raw no matter what them have on. Him alone out there. I try to make people feel like him. They do not like you, man. The more them see of you, is the less they like you. The more you speak, is the more agitated they get. I watched a video that some people insist that I watch. After I tell them, you know, like, watch no video, but don't send me no video, me not watch no video. They insist that I watched it. And I watched it several times. So here's Mark in Manchester. I think it was Christiana. Walking down the road. People lining over there. So not a lot. 2 person there, so 3 person there, so a group of guys, right? So and him a pass. And I look for everybody. I know him put up him and wave. I know him no heal up nobody. Him just walk and look. One of the youth, them I think, 1 or 2 of the youth, them so a labor right there, so or something like that, or pay labor right there. So nobody go over there. If the man walk for a good 3 minutes with people standing by on the road, and him never stop. Him never stop. A brother come up to him and say, yo, and boom off him face and a Kingston 11 come from him. Him never, yeah man, yeah man, yeah man. The man said, Kingston 11 come from, engage him in a conversation. Which part of Kingston 11? Kingston big, you know my youth. Kingston 11 big. Which part of Kingston 11 you come from? Tell me. I make him tell you where you come from and have a conversation. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Look like a damn handicap. And Uno still in a mode where Uno orchestrate to have Lisa Hanna leave our constituency. Jamaican people is asking Lisa Hanna to reconsider. And you have Bucketive out here to reconsider. And if you want us to go to run out Patricia Duncan Sutherland, you tell me when and where, and I will show up to show Patricia Duncan Sutherland the way out of Southeast. St. Andrew, St. Anne. Now there's this whole argument going around. But Mark was the first one to have made that suggestion that when Lisa sent in her letter to say that she will not after she finishes term she will not seek re-election. That fool come talk about we offer her another seat. Look for you too. Look for you. Put Lisa beside you, you look like a damn engpan. You look like old clothes ever behind you for 20 years. You offered her another seat. And so there's this argument going around about she offered another seat and people throwing out seats. And I hear the one that keep ringing most of all that out there is Eastern Westmoreland. Now let me clear up some things for you, because I don't like strong women. So therefore, me not telling you no man anymore. And make me see what I go on with you. You don't like you because she don't chat to you. But look for you. You look at ego. You look at faggot ease. Me can't do that. She don't talk to me. She don't tell me morning. Boo, boo, boo. Oh no. If Lisa Hanna, and I know listen, I know Lisa Hanna is smart. I don't need to question that. But Lisa Hanna must know, she must know that if she should reconsider not leaving politics, she must know that she has to stay in Southeast St. Anne. She must know that she can't run from them. She must know that. That if she reconsider, you can't run from them. You have to stand up and face them down. Them set up groups in the woman constituency, all kind of groups at Wizzy and Bell and that ugly woman say Lydia is going to get a beating from God. You see, if the people of Benson will hold her first, them set up groups to unseat the woman as constituency chairman for your constituency. What the hell is wrong with them? What the woman do no? You talk more PNP people see the whole of them ask you know where Lisa Hanna do no. Make you tell them what white folk she eat food no, which man she take for your 20 and or which girl who want know what Lisa Hanna do no. We baffled by it because you sell the argument to people and totally rain down fire upon her to bring the constituency to the level that it has brought it, that she nearly lose Ivan Lloyd's seat. Well, it wasn't Ivan Lloyd's seat, never have that seat. But she almost lose Seymour Mullins' seat because of shenanigans, Paul Burke and Angela Brownberg. You see all them two there? You see all them two there? PNP people, I mean I like the word hate, you know, but PNP people hate that couple. Hate them. PNP, some PNP people feel that there is a reason Mark I behave the way I behave. Some Mark own people feel that way. That them is a reason. Them and Dayton Camden, they're the losers them. Yeah? Parchment and them. Well, Lisa Hanna do. Uno, run the woman out her seat. Because she not chat too, no? And she behave like she better woman. Of course, Uno behave like she better than people too. The point you told is that you run Kevin Taylor out of the division. You think you're better than him? You're up on the same level. You think so? But you can do it because you're a man. But she mustn't do it because she's a woman. And she must scout out to Uno and bow down to Uno. And Uno must have control over her. Uno go. The whole of Uno go. I want to calm down a bit. Just 2 minutes. And I want Lisa Hanna to know that the Jamaican people are bad for her. Jamaican people are bad for her. And on the road, and I made this about the second life I did. I said that the Jamaican people not going to want to know one individual in the PNP. Yes, they're going to want to see one person who's going to be leader, but they're going to want to see a team of people. So Jamaican people want to see Lisa Hanna and Damian Crawford and Philip Powell and Raymond Price. They want back Crystal. Yeah, man. They want to see all the women them looking shiny and pretty again and not so dull the other day when they go to Parliament. The Jamaican people want that. And whatever the people want, the people need to get. And the Jamaican people don't want Mark. Don't want Mark. The Jamaican people invest their emotions into politicians, you know. They do. Some have invested their emotions into Lisa. Some have invested their emotions into Damien. Some have invested their emotions into Raymond. Some people, the PNP, have invested their emotions into Philip Barwell. People have invested their emotions into these people. They want to see them together. They don't want him out. And them call him Frozen Mark. Me never call him that yet. I will never call him that. You can call him Markie G. But I'm calling him Frozen Mark. They don't want him Mark. They don't want Mark be them leader. The people in South St. Andrew knows that too. More than you know, Mark. The people in South St. Andrew are well group of them. Would I like if I go on? You know, say, yeah, man, the NPS, but this is the thing now, go on. So, right, if you just go on, man, I'm a delegate, you know. I'm a delegate. But, lad, if him just go on, him nah go on. I have to push him out. Him nah go on. He want to steal for make money with him and money. That uno have to push him out. I would have to send him on a merry way. Instead of them trying there to push out Lisa Hanna. Lisa Hanna, listen to me, man. Hear me, Lisa. Renee is the next name. Damn. But anyway, Lisa Renee Hanna. Hear me, man. Give some consideration to this. I mean, we're not telling you what to do. Because we know that you have a whole heap of international opportunities coming your way if you should decide to stay. If you should decide not to stay. But reconsider, man. There's a time when your country call upon you. You must answer that call. It's your patriotic duty to answer the call. Them man you when they we're talking about you know chat to them and you know get along with them no matter. Because nobody cares about them. Nobody don't care what Ian think, nobody don't care what Mark think, nobody don't care what Dayton think, nobody don't care what Tony Hilton think, nobody don't care what none of them think. Nobody cares what they think. The people care about what you think, Lisa Hanna, about what Damien think, about what Raymond think. The people care about that. They care about what Paul will say in his life and when he talk. They care about that. They don't care about what them other soft bars, little dick man they think. They don't care. So you should give some reconsideration. The people in your constituency want to give a reconsideration because them up in arms down there with all the people when you come down there. You know. That's the thing about these politicians when they are going to place a vie for seat. It's like they don't have no antenna. Them not no antenna. Them think it's a matter of going in there, talk to people, and get people to vote for you, and buy this person, give that person that money. But tell them already, you know, the voting public has become a little bit more sophisticated. Not to mention the country people. Them. Nobody more sophisticated than them now. They shock me every time. They totally shock me every time. That I go down, go to the country. Them shock me. Them shock me. The young lady that works at Burger King and was in the bus place yesterday, and I asked her, I said, are you numerated? She said, where you live? She said, she live up some of a restaurant. She tell me a community, I'm not quite remember. Somebody say, you have a vote? Yeah? She said, vote for Crystal Thomas. So will you vote for her again? Yeah. Yeah. Attitude may get enough. Face and shoulder. Yeah. Yeah. Pay that may get from her. She can vote again. You go? So how you feel about the PNP? Why? Too much mix up in the PNP in the place. Disunity. She real words and what she hear. I'm not thinking that she paid much attention to it. She don't sound like she paid much attention to it. But she using the words that she have heard. And too much disunity. And them a fight against Lisa Hanna. And them a fight against Damien. And what did them and the white man in there? Lord, he look at him look and the man can't talk and the body don't like him. So you know the body like him. The man got tour. It's a canvas, maybe you know. A pool, a canvas, whatever it is you can call it. I'm remaining objective. How you mean nobody don't like him? He's a leader of PNP. There must be some people that don't like him. Nobody don't like him, miss. They tell you that. Nobody don't like him. Nobody even like him a little bit. And that COVID movements too. Nobody don't like him. Nobody like him, miss. Nobody don't like him, miss. I don't know nobody will like him, miss. And a PNP community become brand miss. I mean, nobody will like it. That was a pleasant discussion. Very pleasant discussion. Now, many of you have gone into Clock Tower Plaza a number of times. I'm sure. I go there pretty regularly. I forgot to chance to get containers for the ice cream shop and so on and so forth. And there's this one of these guys that live up the thing that the gate man that let you out. My brethren, know him long time. Always try to give a little thing. Sit down there and couldn't get a parking and he come and talk me up and railway blah blah. And Mr. Tim said, you know something never talk to you about politics yet? Yeah what? Come never know what you mean. And say, me I know nothing. I say, so where you live? Come know where you live. Me live in a strong PNP constituency. Some say, why you MP? Him not tell me. Not tell me why I'm MP. Some say, you like things we are going with the PNP and the GLP. We need somebody who can run with oldness. But me not think that man they want to have can run with oldness. That is my 2 hours and a half of a tree, man. I tell you. Not as real as half a tree. In my younger, flamboyant, drinking, whatever days, when we did missions all through the day, right until 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning, half a tree was a favorite place, you know. Wherever it is where I come from, we make sure we drive into half a tree. Park up and sit down. Just a whole conversation with people and drink and talk. Half a tree is a multi-faceted place, multilingual place. You know? All of that. They don't want you, man. People in this country don't want you. And if you mean the PNP any good, you really shouldn't be on no cloud nine about this foolishness you call a poll. Because you lose PNP votes. PNP people stop following them, stop believing in you. Them left you. You can't actually expect that when people leave you and stop believing you, that you want to stay. So now we have to ask you a question, man. Why? Why do you want to stay? And you know that nobody don't want you. Not in the people that are South St. Andrew don't want you. Them not tell you, but them don't want you. Them are going to the office. We know people that's going to the office on a regular basis go most of liberty from me. So them can get an envelope. So sure I can give them something and put in a word for them to get something. Them must have liberty from me and the resistance and the rest of it. But them don't mean it. Them don't mean it, man. Them really want you to go. Them tired of it. Because them think that you make them look bad. And you're not thinking about them. But yes, man, them think that you make them look bad. Them think you make South St. Andrew look bad. They do. They're just nice PNP people who now go tell you. Them to have that courage. Them is not me. And me live down, I'm tell you a long time. But them now go tell you. Somebody was still think you're a nice man. But why? If you just left it, because they don't want him. You know, they don't want him. So I better in one if you just left. And because you know, in question MP, you know, but if you just left because they don't want him. And I mean, say, man, they have them views of you. But hold on, I fight against Lisa Hanna. And in the meantime, that you know, fight against Lisa Hanna, you have people like Richard Parchment applying for seat in Region 3. Richard Parchment. I remember which constituency in running. I can't somebody put it up. The PNP, when the PNP people know that once the PNP get a leader, but out there, nothing can stop you from being out there. Can Michelle, which constituency? I come in there for a good night. Michelle, which constituency Richard Parchment had as member of parliament? Like it's snappy, please. We know, so we need to get your new glasses, but that's snappy. Now, after him lose the PNP seat, don't know where he is, Richard Parchment. And him lose the PNP seat because he must want him MP. He must want him MP. No, Michelle, not where him apply for, where him was before. After him lose the PNP seat, don't know where him was before, Portia gave him a chance. But before we talk about the chance of Portia give him, Southwest St. Elizabeth, all right. I went up to his constituency when I was on the REP board. And when we used to go to rural places, go put up light. I went to a deep, dark place, go put up light one evening. when we talk about for the place, for it, I call Gilly to ask Gilly, which part of the place, and Gilly say, at the farthest place in Jamaica. That's what Gilly answered to me. Now remember the place. But went up there, go put up light. And being on the board, I found myself being useful to the board. And by useful to the board, I was also useful to my party. And that is, whenever we're going into a community to go put in lights, I don't go on the bus. I drive. And I go early. So I can get to walk around the community and make acquaintances and talk to people. And in this particular place, I went early talking to people, because people came out, you know, like a committee and everybody out of it. And pick up information about Richard Parchment, that him used to have the CDF money. And you know, when the parents them come for the check, when right for the pit them, him want the pit them to come for the check, the girls them, the high school pit them, and them him want to come for the check. And when the parents them go to him to ask him for help for the pit them, him tell the parents to make the pit them come to him when the parents them should have deal with him. So Richard Parchment, we know your story. And your story is similar to Dayton Campbell's story, but nothing can beat for his story, but it's similar. So let me give you, me say apply for Eastern St. Andrew, Richard Parchment. A Region 3, me live in Richard Parchment. Region 3, me live. And me have a whole heap of dupes of Eastern St. Andrew. Ask Venetia for this. Whole heaps of dupes. And I am going to consider it as a member of the Great Region 3. Because I'm a member of the PNP, but I'm a member of the Great Region 3. I'm on the voters list. I have a vote. Matter of fact, I have probably about 14 votes that I had. So let me tell you, Richard Parchment, as a loyal member of the Great Region 3, as a loyal supporter and voter for the People's National Party, I am not going to tolerate you in Region 3. Under no circumstance, I'm going to tolerate you. I am going to make your life miserable in Region 3. But, you're a big man. You can do anything you want. I reserve the right as a big woman to do anything I want to. I am just telling you, Richard Parchment, that if the interview panel in Region 3 should ever say to you, you are free to go contest Eastern St. Andrew on the People's National Party ticket, I, Karen Cecilia Cross, is going to consider it my most humble duty and responsibility as a soldier to make sure that don't happen. I said, it's not a threat. It's friendly warning. It's just me telling you how it is, Richard Parchment. We don't want a man will lose PNP seat and then Portia give you a chance to run for councillor and you lose that too. What is wrong with you? We don't lose that pack up in a Region 3. We don't lose that pack up in a Region 3, man. And right now, me and Region 3 leadership don't really agree. We don't chat to them not chat to me, we don't nothing with them. I don't like none of them. Absolutely none of them. As a matter of fact. But they must know that they have a responsibility to Region 3. That when you go in front of that interviewing panel for Region 3, that as a voter in Region 3, I will have to pen a letter to them to outline your deeds by name, Richard Parchment, and I will. They never gave me that opportunity to outline deeds. I was hoping that they'd call me and let me tell them. But now that I have learned my lesson, yours, I would willingly put in black and white to say what you are, to ensure that Region 3 have a full picture of who you are before they even consider you as a candidate for Eastern St. Andrew. Get that through your head, Richard Parchment. You're still looking stupid. You still look like a walk around and do things you're supposed to do as a big man. Richard Parchment, he's a Marine, you know. Yeah, man, I take my job serious. Soldier, take my work serious. I take my work serious, very, very serious. When I run a joke with that, if you come in a Region 3, I'm going to make life difficult for you. And And you should know by now that if I say I'm going to make life difficult for you, I mean, I will do any and everything to make life difficult for you. So give that some consideration while you consider you want to re-enter politics again. Go back to your seat. Go walk and talk and beg pardon and humble yourself and repent of your sins and go talk to your people them and ask them if they'll take you back. You should do that. Wicca McNeil should do that in Western Westmoreland. Go humble himself, show some humility, and go talk to him people them. Yeah, me know that them up in arms against you, but I Ken McNeil's son, they will forgive you. A PNP them. Stop walking around and making yourself into prostitutes, but now look see it. But you can't go anyone want. People that those consequences can always take on them. You know, if you come in a region 3, me not where sit down and take it just like that. So now, we want to ask everyone them want to see them. Well, Lisa Hanna do them. And we ask Lisa to reconsider. So we have covered pretty much what we set out to cover. So we have one final thing left. And that is Northeast St. Elizabeth. As I said before on a voice note, I have no problem with Zuleka Jess being in Northeast St. Elizabeth, vying to get the seat against Colonel Spencer. I am also one of those who believe that people can be forgiven for stuff, and you can't hold one thing over anybody's life for a great deal of time. Sometimes you have to, you know, whatever price that person pay, you know, sometimes it's enough, sometimes it isn't. I don't know. I can't make those judgments about anybody. A comrade told me that I'm in charge and think I'm a lead thing. I'm simply said to a comrade that I can't lead nothing because I get a dog for my birthday and him not even listening to me. And I mean feed him and clean up him crap. And him not listen to me. There's a little 9-year-old crap, piece of crap in here that think that him is the life of the yard and everybody love him to death and him can do anything he wants. No, we can't chat to him. Can't lead him. Can't lead him, but can't lead the dog. The only reason we have some control over the bird is because she in a cage. But I mean, can't lead nothing. In Central Clarendon, I think it's Central Clarendon that Zuleka just ran. There are about 18,000 voters in Central Clarendon that are basically untapped. Untapped. People, nobody talk to them, nobody never bring them into the fold, nobody never see them. But Zuleka don't feel like she should go look for them voters and try to win the seat from a retired 100-year-old man. And she don't feel that way is her right. I respect her for that. And she gone look at next seat and she decided to go in Northeast St. Elizabeth. And she's free to do that. It's all right. But make no mistake, it is also Raymond Price's right as a former MP for Northeast St. Elizabeth to go down there and walk up and down if he want and talk to anybody that he want to talk to. Nobody shouldn't take away Zuleka just right to go campaign and look at our seat. So nobody should attempt to take away Raymond Price's right. People want to cancel people, but just want to cancel some people as if they believe that some people is deserving and some people are undeserving. The only person that is undeserving in the scheme of things right now is Mark Golding. So my message to Raymond Price is simple tonight. Anytime you're ready to make a trot down a Northeast St. Elizabeth, just give me 24-hour notice and pick me up. But try with you. Because nobody has the right to tell you that you can't come into Northeast St. Elizabeth. You were the duly elected member of parliament for Northeast St. Elizabeth. I know you spent a lot of holidays down there with some aunts and stuff we had. But it's just all right. I am one of those who believe, and I've always said it, that if two PNP people call you and say to you, say, Yeah, you make two people from the jungle call you and say, Mark, now cut it, come here, come talk to me, because I want a new MP. If you are a member of the People's National Party in good standing, there is nobody who can stop you from going down there. Nobody. That's how the PNP set up. Nobody. If you're a member of the People's National Party, a member in good standing, and two PNP people from down South St. Andrew, or Southwest St. Andrew, or Central Kingston, or East Kingston and Port Royal, or Western St. Andrew, call you and say, yo, John, yo, Mary, we are nothing with the MP, you know. A group of women are nothing with him. We want a new person down here. And when you say you want to run, come check with man. Come check with. Nobody can stop you from go. Nobody can stop you from go. Not a soul. You can go check the two people who call you. You can sit down for a corner and talk to them. Them can walk with you and introduce you to two more people. Maybe not come of it, but nobody can stop you. And that is the spirit in which competition is encouraged in the People's National Party. So, as I said, Raymond Price, you're not ready for going on the Northeast. You know the nook and crannies. We control a section of voters down the Northeast. And you must understand something, you know. I mean, I don't like to hear this. But there is, in every constituency, a pretty substantial gay community. In all 63 constituencies, there is a substantial gay community. Well, nobody want to talk about that. That's not kosher. But me, I tell you no. So, people can go and talk to anybody they want to talk to. And Raymond Price, I'd be very happy to introduce you to some people that maybe you don't know. But if you want to go down there, you know them already, you want a little crew to roll with you, shout me. And pick me up and I will go walk with you. That don't mean I'm supporting you for run for no MP. I'm just saying that it is your right to go. And nobody should want to take away that right from you. It's the same respect, and I said that this is my last point, but it's the same respect that goes for Damian Crawford. If you want to see, if you go look at see. Nobody can stop you from going look at see. But I think part of Damian's problem is that he's afraid of losing in a contest. But if you seek to be a leader, you can't afraid of losing. You can't. You see that argument where I'm saying all politics are local. It was coined by Tip O'Neill. Tip O'Neill was one of the longest serving speaker before Nancy Pelosi in the U.S. House of Representatives. And his first election he ran in California, he was a California congressman. In his first election he ran this highfalutin campaign with all kinds of stuff, a billboard and all kind of crap. Them time you know have social media saying he must run up a billboard and posters and all kind of thing. And he lost. He lost his first election. That great speaker, he was a Republican, but was a great speaker. He lost that first election. And on the night of the election, the media in his face asking him, I mean, this is a strong Republican seat or you lose. And him simply say, well, I have learned that all politics are local. And he went on to win the next time and became a Speaker of the House and served until his retirement. So one can't be afraid of losing a contest, and that will stop you. And maybe, Damian, maybe the people who support you will stop being jackasses and start giving you good advice like, man, if you identify somewhere, rally some people, and that will help you. If you want to go somewhere, go try your luck, or something like that. Because nothing will be given to you, my friend. Nothing. Because them big you up, and them everybody big you up and all of that, and you have the love and support of Jamaican people alongside Lisa. But you ought to get good advice about what you should do and how you should do it. Because sitting down somewhere promoting yourself, not going to cut it. Because that want to get you where you need to go. And the labor rights will continue to promote you because they know you are no threat. And the risers will continue to promote you and make promises to you because that they know you are no threat. And when I say no threat, you're no threat because you have no seat. No seat, no power. You will just be a mouthpiece out there talking up the things that you should talk. Great things that you talk. Because you have good ideas and stuff. So if you need to move from that now to something else, you need to transcend into where you need to be to secure that seat and go compete and take it from there. But so those are my 3 positive things tonight. Lisa Hanna should reconsider and stay in Southeast St. Anne. And I have to tell Lisa Hanna that if she wants a coup, the whole Jamaica from every walk of life ready. People ready to just roll out in the Southeast St. Anne and get a coup. And Mark Golding should be ashamed of himself for taking it upon himself to tell the thief and ugly councillors them that them should stay after the MP moved them. Yeah. Should be ashamed of himself. So Lisa Hanna, don't run. You can't run because if you run away from Southeast St. Anne, you will have no credibility in this country. If you go take any other seat, Lisa Hanna, you will have no credibility in this country. And people will stop love you and look to you and think highly of you. You can't run from the fight. Is not as powerful as him think him is. Him just think so because Paul and Angela Brownberg can pop him up and him and they look at thief in ugly councillors them. I mean, I stop saying them thief and them ugly. And Lisa did get some new brand good looking councillor candidate. Don't run from them. The Jamaican people would not think highly of you if you should make Mark Golding tell if you go take some other seat. You'd be dead. Trust me on that. The power that you know, the power that you have, that you know exudes, that power would leave you. That mystique, that mystery, that power, that all of it would leave you if you should let them run you out of Southeast St. Anne and you go take some other seat. You shouldn't do it. If you change your mind and you're going to stay, it should be Southeast St. Anne and no other place. Because that's the only place you can run from. Either that or you walk away, as you said previously that you would. But on behalf of a whole heap of Jamaicans that I've spoken to, please reconsider. The PNP needs you. You see, rest of them don't care about what the PNP look like. But you have grown a little bit, Lisa Hanna. Because some people had some misgiving, including me, but you have grown a little bit, and we can see it. But if you run and left your seat, to go get some other seat, your credibility dies, and you can't talk to nobody in this country ever again. So that was what I said. And Damien, get up, young man, get up, and make the real turn. PNP need you. PNP need you. PNP need Lisa. PNP need Raymond Price. PNP need people like Crystal and Imani who them make gone. Yeah? PNP need Philip Paulwell. PNP need them. So we have to just get the wheels turning. And as I said, Mark now leave, so maybe we need to get together and just run him out. We can run him out, good old running out. Bill a stone if I run him out. I didn't mean that. Bill a stone if I run him out. But we can run him out. So I want to say to all the resistance people out there resisting on their own and doing them own little thing and everybody doing them own thing from them corner. God bless you all. Keep up the fight, whatever fight it is. It doesn't matter what fight it is as long as it's in the best interest of the People's National Party. Keep it up and let us level off and diss up the risers them whenever them come in our space. Make sure boss up liberty upon them. Continue to boss up liberty by Markie G with him full poll and losing PNP votes. And him is the reason why the PNP not 44 points ahead right now. Him is the reason, the sole reason why the PNP is that. And Andrew not afraid of him. Andrew not the JLP not afraid of him. We just stage where nobody not afraid of your leader even when them a lose. Them a lose the support of Jamaican people and they're not afraid of you. They're not afraid of you. You know, not now go on for you because they're not afraid of you. Nobody not afraid of you. Look how easy them is. You do your poll come out and them inside a plan stuff. Nigel come out and announce some goodies and them inside a plan stuff. And them a do stuff. I try them out. Them a come for wheel and come again. And you out here, I talk about when I celebrate poll. It's someone like on the damn head. Don't know what I do. But then we always know don't know. Anyway, time for me stop chat. God bless you all, Jamaica. Thank you for listening, comrades, friends, and Jamaicans. Thank you. God bless you. Stay safe. Keep the children safe and be good.